Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Gari. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. So today is October 14th, 2024. It is Monday. I just got finished with Makir's IEP meeting. For those of you who don't know, Makir is my autistic nonverbal 19-year-old son. He goes to a private school for autism. And just had the IEP meeting, and this was a first because Makir received nothing short of a stellar review. And this is the first time ever that Makir's IEP meetings or interactions with the school districts or interactions with the school at large or PCAs or TSS workers or at all. This is the first time that there was nothing negative spoken about Makir. No behaviors, no grandiose behaviors, no extreme bouts of aggression, no spitting on people, attacking people, soiling himself, none of it. Spitting, none of it. Flopping, trying to elope, none of it. This is the first time, and Makir just celebrated his 20th birthday, and this is the first time that I have ever received a report from Makir that has been positive overall. And I became extremely emotional during that meeting, and I was just so grateful to his team and so grateful to the director of the school, because at that time it was right after the panorama. Makir had transitioned from a school that I had taken Makir out of a school that he had been with since he was in, I guess you would say, elementary school. And it was a lot going on with that. And then he got approved for another school, but they expelled him. We had several interviews with other schools, and they disregarded Makir at the door. And so I was definitely at my wit's end, and I was okay. I had finally gotten to a place where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna keep my boy home with me. Like, we'll be fine. We've been fine. I'm going to keep him home with me because I was tired of exposing him to adults whose agenda was not to care for him. And it was just a lot. We had been through, it's just been a very extremely trying journey and taxing journey on all of us, especially Makir, from trialing different medications to different aides or TSS workers or personal support staff that quit because of Makir's behaviors. I remember when Mac was in kindergarten, and he had transitioned from an autistic school, but he had to go to the neighborhood school and prove that the neighborhood school could not support Makir's needs before the school district would pay for him to go to a private school. And his TSS workers would quit left and right. I actually quit my job. I went and bought some scrubs, and I went to school with Makir from September to about December because every day I would go to, and his teacher at the time knew that Makir was more acute than the setting that they could provide. And she was an extremely talented teacher, a wonderful woman. But we both knew, walking in the door, we both knew that that was not an appropriate setting for Makir, that Makir needed a lot more supports. So every day I would go to school with Mac, and I would go to the principal's office during lunchtime and pretty much beg her to consider approving for Makir to go to a private school. And of course that came out of her budget, so there was a lot of hesitancy with that. But Makir, she did not even consider what I was saying, even though Makir was disruptive to the classroom, even though it was a petition from myself and from his teacher. She did not care to be honest, until Makir peed in her trash can in her office. Once he pulled out and peed in her trash can and on her floor, she signed the paperwork that day and asked us not to return. So we have been like I said, it's just been a very uphill battle, and it's extremely discouraging. Or it has been extremely discouraging over the years. And a lot of times I would ask God, like, I know that Makir is my slice of humble pie. I know that you blessed me with this child, or chose me to be his mother. One, to humble me, but then also to advocate for him, as well as other children, and more importantly for me, the parents, and to try to find a way to support their mental health and well-being. And so that path has chosen me because, as you guys know, I am in the medical field, and then to have an autistic child that is a full-time investment is just, it is my lot in life. And so this is really why I do lean more so heavily on trying to identify an outlet that brings me joy, because let's be clear, having an autistic loved one and caring for someone with special needs is not the walks that we see. It's not, it's not the ribbons and these cute little kids walking on their toes. And it's just not that. That's not the reality of the day-to-day ins and out life of caregivers for individuals on the spectrum. It's just not. It's a lot of sleepless nights. For me, it was a lot of shit smearing on the walls and meltdowns and destroying property and aggression towards us and elopement and calling the police, and him ending up in hospitals, and hospitals not as far as inpatient, but like an emergency room, because he got out of the house and the police found him and took him to the emergency room, and him being put in restraints, and seeing pictures of my son being restrained to a bed, So I was extremely overwhelmed to receive. I was extremely overwhelmed to receive such beautiful news from Mac. Like, I know that Mac is absolutely maturing, and I know that he is settling into himself. He's definitely he definitely has his own opinion and what he wants to do, and he is a young man, and he has his wants and his needs. And it's just I've never had this experience before, y'all. I've never had this experience before, and it's a beautiful seat to sit in, and I'm just full of gratitude with his team. When we pulled up to that school, I was at my wits' end. I was encouraged by the school district to just try one more school, and I'm just like, I'm so over this shit. Like, I want to be aggressive towards these people that completely disregard my son at the door. Soon as he walked in and he would like flop to the ground, they're like, oh no, he's not suitable for our school. And I understand, but it's just like time and time again, you just get pushed around and shoved around, and your kid just gets disregarded, and it's hard. It's hard. So I gave Makir the pep talk. Me and Pop took him because, of course, I need support with Makir out in the community, and I'm just like, Mick, please don't show your ass today. Please don't attack anybody or whatever. And he was just smiling, and he got out the car, and he had some pep in his step, and he walked into the school, and he was just so bright and happy and giving people pounds. And the whole time I'm letting people know, like, okay, just keep your distance. I know he's a handsome boy. I know he has a beautiful smile, but he has a switch. So, I want everybody to be safe, and he just did not display those behaviors. And when we did encounter the director, it was actually there, I think it was like a school spirit day or something, and she was outside. They were like blowing bubbles, and she was spinning cotton candy. And Makir walked right up to her and was just looking at her. She's like, hey, buddy, like, how are you? And I explained that was Makir, and he was there for a tour, and I was telling her how his behaviors were grand, and they were doing his pounds. He has a signature pound for everybody and handshake. And she was just like, well, everybody, all of our kids have behaviors, and he seems like a great kid. Let me read his records and I'll give you a call. And I was just like, it reads pretty harsh. We've been through a lot. He's been expelled from a different school, whatever. She's like, it's okay. Let's just see. And that meant a lot. Let's just see. It's just like, her taking the time out and just considering my son, So I was just extremely gracious to all of them today and letting them know, thank you for seeing us and thank you for seeing this through. And although, Makira does have good days and bad days like us all, or more challenging moments, it's just the investment in him. And he deserves that. He's a great kid. He's a great kid that has challenges. So Makira is covered in love. And we all love him dearly. And we just want the best for our boy. And Makira is spending a lot more time with his dad. And I think that was a difficult transition for me, because I'm used to being the primary caregiver for my son. But I do understand that our boys do need their parent. Our boys do need their dads. And it's been a positive transition for everyone. And so just me being able to get over myself and understand that I don't have to be all things for Makira. There is room for other people, including his dad and his family, to love on him. So we are in a great space. We are in a great space. And I just thank God for the day. And I thank God for the moment, y'all. I really do. I'm grateful. I am very, very grateful. So yeah, that is my emotional time. And it's okay. Like I said, I'm documenting my life. I'm documenting my life so that I can look back and relish the moments. And this is why creating content is so important to me, because it's an outlet for me. It's something creative that I love to do. And yeah, it balances me out. It evens me out tremendously. So we are on our way to UPS. The post office was closed. So I'm going to mail my clothes to Jay. We'll see how much it costs, but I know that it's not going to be more than $120. So we're going to go ahead on a roll with that. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will absolutely see you on the other side. Hey, y'all, we dropped off to UPS. Hopefully, my things will get there by Wednesday, which would be great. And it was $28. $28, y'all. Okay, so then the other thing is, one thing that I've noticed over this transitional period that I've had with Makira spending a lot more time with his dad, is that it's how absent I've been with my other children. Everything about our life has been very much so focused on how we can support Makira, and that's just what it's been since I've had him. And it did not take until him spending a lot more time with his dad. It didn't even really cross my mind how much my other children lacked. For me, I just felt like this is our lot in life, and this is our assignment. This is the assignment that God has given us, to take care of him, and that's what we're going to do. And over the years, our sleep has been compromised, our peace has been compromised, everything, everything has been compromised supporting Makir. Even going to the market, I would have to make sure that, you know, my children were there in order to go to the market, or getting Mac off the bus. You know, all of the things had just been completely encompassed with how we could support and make Makir as comfortable as possible with the life that he lives. And now Wamp and I, we go on dates, we go to the movies, we chill and sit back and watch the game in peace. I'm able to go to all of his games. I mean, here and there we have to compromise. The first week that Mac actually stayed with his dad was extremely emotional for me. Me and Wamp got in the car to go to the market, and I stopped at the end of our block, and I was like, oh my God, wait, what about Mac? And he's like, Mac is with my dad, Mom. And I bust out crying just to go to the market, was life altering for us. I've never lived a life after having Makir of a typical family. I just did not. We didn't, you know. And so now it's just like, okay, so this is our new normal, and it's welcoming. I have since, you know, become emotionally regulated, and I'm okay, and it's all good. And when Mac, you know, gets off the bus and he's waiting at the door for his dad, that's fine. Before, it used to break my heart, like, Mac, you don't want to stay here and eat? You don't want to spend more time with Mommy? And now it's just like, okay, Mac, I see you later, you know. But I just thank God for this space that we're in, and for me to be able to tap into the needs of my other children. You know, they deserve that. I asked Wamp, I said, Wamp, how do you feel? Listen, y'all know Wamp. Wamp started rearranging his room immediately, because he shared the room with Mac at one point. Okay? He started rearranging his room immediately once I gave him the news. And I asked my children, like, how do you feel about Mac spending more time with your dad? And they both highly supported it. You know, I feel like Wamp for selfish reasons, so that he can have more space. But Pop was just like, you know, Mac does better with my dad. You know, he doesn't try to push my dad around, or, you know, he listens more with him. So yeah, that's where we are, and it has been some time, and things look well. Things look like we're on the up and up. I feel like, you know, as the mother that I am, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and needing to take care of Mac full time again. But as of right now, that is not the case, and so I'm just settling into my new normal, and just thanking God every day when I'm able to have a good night's sleep, or, you know, not. I identify it as anxiety, but I used to get up. I never slept well throughout the night with Mac, and I would get up and I would double, triple, quadruple check that he's in his bed, and walk through the house and check the windows and check the doors and all the time, and get him up to use the bathroom. And if he was still up, I would put him in the shower to help de-escalate him, and all of the things. He took I don't know if you guys have noticed, and, you know, maybe you guys are new to the channel, but if you see, like, if I pan in my home, and I'll insert a video, Makir removed all of my cabinets, the cabinet doors. He removed all the lower level cabinet doors from my cabinets. Yeah. One day I woke up a little bit too late. It's about 2, 3 o'clock 3 o'clock in the morning, and Makir was downstairs and he had removed, with a knife, he had removed all of the doors from my cabinets. And then, but here's the bob. He organized them. So he stacked them up real neat. Yep, at the back door. And then multiple times he beheaded all of my plants. Now, you guys know by now that I love plants. That's another very peaceful place for me. And he had beheaded all of my plants. I could not believe it. I was so crushed. I was more crushed over my plants than I was over the cabinet doors. Yeah. So we have definitely been through some trying times, from Mac throwing my sink out the bathroom window to him throwing all of his brother's clothes out of his window to just all types of, all levels of things, to having locks on my refrigerators and cabinets, to all of the things. We have ran the gamut for sure. But again, I just thank God for where we are, and I thank God for the, the people that he has placed in our lives. And I just pray that he continues to watch over my boy and keep him safe and sound. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I needed to share that with my future self, to be honest. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. This is the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will absolutely see you guys on the other side.
Gotta keep going, 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 gotta keep going. If there's one thing that I learned while in those county lines, it's that everything takes time. You have gotta lose your pride.